Hey everybody, this is Dust for Dust on Gaming, playing a little bit of Izzet Drakes in Standard Arena, taking a little bit of work from Modern tonight. The first deck we're starting out with is playing just a traditional Izzet Drakes list, trying to get Arc-like Phoenixes back, kill your opponent with Enigma Drakes and Crackling Drakes, also have grab one Electromancer to enable your various spells to be a lot cheaper. Beyond that, you got some lava coils and shocks to interact with your opponent's creatures, and you're just trying to get them dead. Sideboard, you got some disdainful strokes and negates for control and mid-range matchups. Fire Mines Research for some grindier matchups, especially against Izzet, or not against Izzet, against Golgari. Fiery Cannonade for anything with a bunch of X2s. Anything from the Boros decks to some versions of Golgari. Beacon Bolt, we need to kill some bigger creatures. Murmuring Mystic, kind of a grindy card, especially against the go wide strategies and sometimes against control decks. Ralzeric, pretty good against the mid-range control decks. Niv Mizzet, specifically against the counterspell-based control decks, and then Entrancing Melody against Golgari and Boros. So, first thing we're going to be playing today, and then the other version is the Izzet Drake control deck. This deck is a little bit more controlling. Got some Spell Pierces and Dive Downs to protect your Drakes and your Niv Mizzets. Got some Lava Coils and Shocks to deal with your opponent's early creatures. Search for his Cansa to help search up your various answers. One of Entrancing Melody. And beyond that, it's a lot like the Drake's deck, except, with the Phoenixes, except you're a little more controlling and trying to win in the mid to late game with your Niv Mizzets and your creatures. Got some more controlling cards. You got Shivan Fire, Disdainful Strokes, another Lava Coil, Fire Mines Research, a couple Fire Cannonades, Fight with Fire, kill your bigger creatures like Lyra and such. You can also dome your opponent in the longer game, Beacon Bolt to kill larger creatures, another Ralzeric and Izzet for the grindier matchups, Star of Extinction for your Golgari matchups primarily, can also come in against dinosaurs if you happen to run across that, and Entrancing Melody for your kind of grindy matchups. It's not quite as good as in the Electromancer builds, but still sometimes a 2-for-1's a 2-for-1. So, that said, let's go ahead and get into some full matches here. Just taking a little bit of a break from Modern tonight. Played quite a bit of Modern the last couple weeks. Need to stay on top of playing some Standard a little bit here and there. This hand looks fine. Just lead on Steam Vents tapped, play Electromancer, then hopefully cantrip a bunch on turn 2. If our Electromancer happens to live. Could be up against Golgari. Just looks like blue-white control, sure. Get our Phoenix back this turn. Sure. Disinformation campaign, sure. Chart a course. Alright, our opponent concedes game 1. So, like, if we were playing the Drake's version of the deck, that game probably would have gone, or the control version of the deck, that one probably would have gone a lot worse. Alright, so even a couple copies of Shock in case our opponent brings in Thief of Sanity. Beyond that, we probably want Disdainful Strokes, Negates, definitely want the Rals, definitely want the Nivs, cut back a little bit on Electromancer in some of our interaction. Some consideration to bring in Research here, but I think for now we'll go down on little bit of our lower end threats here. And go like that. Looks like we're up against just Demir Disinformation Campaign Control. Which is better against the controlling version of Izzet than the more aggressive version. Don't think we can keep this hand with only one red source. Stand's keepable, but we needed to hit another land on top. It's going alright, War Dog. How are you doing? Drawing a bunch of islands isn't ideal with a bunch of red cards in our hand, but at least we're hitting our land drops. Alright, sure. Yeah, I bet. Why would you bring an Unmoored Ego against... whatever, I guess. Arc-like Phoenixes, unsurprising. Doesn't feel like that's a card they play well against. Alright, hit a red source, that's a good start. Do they work you harder during the holiday season, Wardog? Guess we just jam Drake here. Not really worried about fighting over protecting it. Moment of Craving, sure. So you had to 2-for-1 yourself to kill my creature. Sure. Hopefully our opponent can't land too much here. One's going hard on the syncopates, man. Wow. Okay. And we'll Radical Idea at the end of my next turn. In certain areas, yes. In certain areas, no. It's our 7th land, right? Yep. Kinda nice to get a win over Dimir there. Can definitely tell that Modern's by far more popular on the channel than Arena and Standard. So much quieter on Arena nights. Almost feels like when I'm streaming over there on Twitch. Yeah, probably should have played the mountain there, that way I could shock if they're a more aggressive deck. Stitcher's Supplier. Interesting. Some variant on Golgari, obviously. Well, here's the reality of things, unfortunately. The reality is that, Magic Online is slowly going to be dying. So it's either going to be get used to Arena, or, like, I know people don't want to hear that, but I mean, that CFB article, if you read it, pretty much indicated that whatchamacallit's going to be a slowly dying platform. So, if you're going to be a streamer or online Magic player, it's eventually going to have to be Arena. What's going on in the graveyard? It's a lot of value. You know what's really funny, War Dog, is every time I play with a control deck, I face off against Golgari. And, like, the traditional Golgari deck can get smacked around. Now I'm playing the Drake's deck, and I feel like I'm owning Golgari. Like, the control version of Izzet that I'm going to be playing in a little bit, Jerry T was raving about how he loved the deck, how he loved the setup, and whatnot, and yet every time I play the regular Drake deck, it feels so much more smooth. I don't necessarily want to be right either, because the aspects of Magic Online I enjoy is the fact that you can actually win some amount of money at it, and you get to play other formats. Arena is just so much cleaner, like in gameplay, graphics. The auto tapper's amazing. You know. So, I honestly hope that they decide to kill, whatchamacallit off, that they bring Modern to Arena. That would be really awesome, but I don't know if they're going to put that much resources into Arena. Like, I would hands down play Modern on Arena. You know, that would be freaking awesome. Seems a little land heavy, but I think we keep it because it has so many cantrips. Can always discard one of these lands to, looks like we'll definitely be discarding one of these lands to chart a course here. If we don't happen to hit a Phoenix. This hand might be too slow in this matchup. Yeah, I would definitely say the control build's a little bit clunkier too. I mean, it's more powerful in certain matchups, but I think we're in the market to keep both of these, aren't we? I mean, we don't have any interaction right now, but they haven't presented any creatures either, so. Close Spore Shaman. They bricked on lands. I just take a hit for 3 here just to bring back the stupid Phoenix next turn. Because between these 3, I can bring Phoenix back next turn, kill one of their dudes. I guess it depends on what their play is this turn. Can't afford to fall too far behind Golgari, of course. Especially without Fiery Cannonade in my deck right now. Oh, I'm just going to cast Fine. Sure. Bring back Wild Growth Walker and whatchamacallit. So we don't have an answer to Wild Growth Walker, so that could be a little bit concerning. Another Arc-like Phoenix is interesting. I think we have to keep that one on top. And then... I don't know. Is anybody else in chat having issues with skipping? I think we're going to be losing this game due to 20 billion life gained here. That's going to be rough to try to race. Like, my replay is not showing any issues. Like, the replay I have on my own, whatchamacallit here. But I couldn't tell you as to for sure. I think we're falling way too behind this game. that's the go-ahead to go ahead and concede this game. Does shock answer the creatures we want to answer? I don't think so. Gotta bring in Beacon Bolt. Sideboard honestly might want Fight with Fire over these like Fire Mines researches that I don't usually even play in the control matchups anyway. I don't know, Space War Dog. We're not getting any other comments about having issues with, I don't think I can keep his hand. His one-landers are always... Gah. Basically drawing 2 cards there. We do need to find another red source. Or find a red source to unlock our red cards. Alright, there's a red source. Radical idea. Maybe. I just wanted to know if anybody else in chat was having that problem or not. Interesting. Suspect they would have played a Wild Growth Walker out by now, so I'm just gonna go ahead and steal that guy. It's obviously not the most impressive creature to steal, but obviously without Electromancer we can't necessarily rely on certain things. Vivian Reed. Card we did not see out of them in the first couple games, but that's going to be a particularly brutal card. No blocks. Feels like with that Vivian, it's going to be a difficult game to win. Why would you keep attacking with the Stitcher Supplier if you're going to play Vivian Reed here? Well, that'd be why. Hopefully they don't have a removal spell on the Plague Crafter here. That would kind of suck. Why did that have to say Planeswalker too? Isn't just creature enough? Alright, fair enough. So we'll get the Cruel Harpooner out. Yeah. Just gonna lose this to a Harpooner, unfortunately. Were you trying to play the finance game there, War Dog?
See if you're worthy. Meet my newest friend. I've seen squirrels hit harder.
I've seen squirrels hit harder.
I've seen things that would break someone like you.
Seems like they're just a value-oriented version of Golgari with, like, extra memorials to Folly, maybe extra copies of Fine Finality. So they're probably a little bit lower to the ground than most versions. Obviously, we're losing this game. We're just playing another turn or two, but we can't beat the combination of Vivian plus all this value. That's funny. Yeah, that's the one thing about Golgari is Golgari is not easy to beat because each version is like moderately different.
Now we're getting started. The wilds are my shield.
Just wait till next turn, cast this lava coil for the daily quest, and then call it a match. Because although it's taking our opponent forever to kill us, we're definitely losing this game. It doesn't help in our top 26 cards we've only seen, what, a couple of threats? Saw like one Drake, one Electromancer, one Phoenix. I suppose it's possible we could chain spells here.
You'll have to do better than that. No one knows the wilds like I do.
So what do you think of the state of Modern right now? Seems to be a little bit all over the place. Like, these Drake decks are the big rage right now. But I don't know if they... I'm somewhat inclined to agree with Space Marine in that I don't think they're going to, like, break the format. But I don't know if I completely agree that they're just going to be a flash in the pan either. Too many cruel harpooners and stuff for our deck to beat. I mean, I don't think Maximized Velocity is still in our deck. Why did they choose not to fight there? Obviously, the only reason we were playing this game was to just get extra attacks and stuff for the quests. Maybe. I think about the only thing definitively we can say about it is that the, whatchamacallit, the Mardu build appears to be the least powerful of the 3 color combinations that people have really tried. I don't really consider Grixis a separate color scheme right now. Go ahead and play with the control version for a match or two. Yeah, I like the Ross build, but at the same time, that the mono red steam conversion we played yesterday really showed me something. So I think whenever I get some more rares, I'm gonna rebuild this deck as like, I guess we keep this hand, hope to scribe blue source to the top. I think as I get more rares, I'm gonna like build something closer to the treasure map, Niv Mizzet deck. Only like a blue-red version of the deck for now. So I really like Niv, but getting all the rares for the Jeskai build can be a little bit rough. Guess we just run out the Drake here. Drakes don't tend to get as big as fast in this version either. I think we'll go ahead and burn 1 shock to get in 3 points of damage here. Like, I like the search for his Kanta cantrip thing, but I don't really like the 21 land nonsense going on with this deck. It remains to be seen, like, what threats the deck would want. I think I would just stick with, like, 3 or 4 Crackling Drake, 3 or 4 Niv Mizzet, and 4 Treasure Map and 2 Rao, and then see if Karn fits in, like, the sideboard or something. The problem with Karn is, especially on here, is it's a mythic. So getting mythics has actually been a bigger pain for me for decks than actually the rares have been. Like, if I had a bunch of money, I'd be, like, buying arena stuff and crap left and right, but I don't, so, you know, that's life. Curious if our opponent blocks here. Getting close. If we get a land next turn, we can just steal their stupid Drake. Sure. Wonder if that's for the dispersal part of Discovery Dispersal, or what that's for. Come on, land. Sweet. I never expect the entrancing melody. opponent's ever able to chain spells together, it could get rather scary. That said, if we ever draw a Nibble Mizzet, I think we're in good shape. See what they pitch here. Maybe? The problem with trying to push Patreon when you're more like the bigger thing, honestly, War Dog would be getting to 1,000 subscribers. Getting to 1,000 subs would be a much, yeah. But the problem is, what do I offer that other channels don't already offer? Is the problem. Like, use the dive down to save our dude here. I mean, I'm open to suggestions, but a lot of people are already like, you know, I'll play your deck if you do this, I'll do this if you do that. Like, what could be done differently? Like, alright, there's one of those dead. Tormenting Voice, so they're gonna get to double spell this turn. Or triple spell. They have a lot of Phoenixes coming back this turn. They have what, 2 Phoenixes in the yard? 3? 2. You have another shock? Yeah. We're gonna get hit by 2 Phoenixes this turn. Spell Pierce. That's right on time. Maybe I pushed a little bit too hard last turn with the dive down. Like, don't get me wrong, Patreon's great, but Patreon is better when you've already built up a viewing audience. And let's be honest, War Dog, most of the viewing audience is here for Modern, specifically for I mean, I can work on that kind of stuff. I'm not opposed to those ideas, but outside of Burn, why would anyone listen to me? You know, reason most people are here is Burn. Like, the biggest single driver on the channel, outside of when I time the right deck, like timing the Arclight Phoenix stuff, timing the right deck at the right time. The biggest driver on the channel is Burn. And I've already done a good bit of, like, discussion and stuff on that, so, like, my only true, like, bread and butter is Burn. And the fact, oh, I probably won't be able to go to the RPTQ now, so I'm kind of ticked about that, but it's my own fault. Because I got sick Saturday night, so I no longer have a call off for, RPTQ, and work won't give me the day off because, you know, retail this time of year. Hmm. Eh. See, that's one of the difficulties about like YouTube and like Twitch and stuff, and trying to differentiate yourself is there's so much space already taken up on YouTube that you can only do so much. Like, my differentiation really is I play Burn, and you know, like, nope, not on a weekend. Not on a weekend. I was gonna say, am I about to get spell pierced? I think I want both those cards, but yeah, I work in retail, James. Part of the reason I'm still in retail is the fact that I'm finishing up my graduate degree in accounting. So I wanted to get school like completely done. So I guess I'm just pitching a charter course here. So yeah, I work in retail, sadly. I mean, the job pays the bills, but it's not exactly what I would call my dream job. What about you, James? What do you do? Sweet, PhD. That's awesome. That's awesome. Oh, yeah, I agree, War Dog, but the problem is it takes time to build up those audiences. Like, I'm just starting to get people to watch the Grixis Shadow content, etc. So, you know, I'm the problem. Like, I've been doing a lot of research on like how to grow YouTube channels and stuff, and I was trying really hard to like grow the channel by like trying different things and whatnot. But ironically, I was doing like one of the things they say not to do, and that's getting out of my lane.
Let's see what we got.
Like, I need to stick to what I do well. And, you know, slowly grow on other things. Like, slowly continue to increase the content and whatnot. This might win us the game if they don't have maximized velocity here. Because this is like 2 removal spells in 1 now. Unless they, like, bring back a couple of Phoenixes. But they don't currently have any in their yard. Okay, now they have a Phoenix in their yard. That's getting a little obnoxious. Okay. Alright, so they had to effectively 3 for 1 to kill. Oh, yeah, I agree, James. And of late, I've been pretty consistent. The problem is, but yeah, I definitely need to be consistent. Do I hold up dive down here? I feel like I'm supposed to hold up dive down. Molecular plant sciences, good lord. What do you hope to do with that degree? I have a couple of, good bit of my high school classmates have their PhDs. So I'm actually kind of behind them. It's ironic. Nope, no more Phoenixes, that's a good thing. See if they have like a, we were rewarded for our patience with our dive down here. Instead of playing a second Enigma Drake. that's cool. I mean, I'm gonna go into accounting, but if I was being brutally honest, I'd rather stream Magic for a living. But, you know, that's life. Sometimes you gotta be an adult and do the adult things, so. Opponent is looking for... That's kind of brutal. At least we'll trade here. Yeah, I bet. Chart of course, not the most inspiring thing. Can we kill them here? If we bin an instant or sorcery off of this. It can be. You gotta do everything in moderation. Like, the ebbs and flows can certainly get to you. Like, it certainly got to me with Burn in Modern, which is kind of like my bread and butter grinding deck towards getting value, and I maybe selfishly rely on, like trying to, I selfishly kind of rely on, like, you know, doing well with the deck, and kind of rely on, like, the tickets and stuff from Burn to kind of finance some of the other stuff sometimes. So, I've had to have a friendly reminder that sometimes you got to remember Magic is just a hobby, and for me, it's not necessarily a source of income. So, got to remember the ebbs and flows. You can't always win 70+% of your matches with a specific deck. So, nice hanging out with you, James. Have you ever been in chat before? Don't recall seeing your name. Don't know if you watch the channel regularly or if you're just new to the stream, but welcome in. I think we have to mulligan this one. Bottom of land here. We need spells. As much as I want to get to Izzet quickly, didn't I just bottom a land? Could have sworn I bottomed a land. So what formats do you usually... Yeah, no, I understand. So you're usually... Do you usually play Arena, or do you usually play, Magic Online? Or Paper, for that matter. I think we definitely want to fight with fire. I think at that point we pretty much want to top, like, any spell we draw. Even if it's not the most mana efficient thing. Actually, that maximized velocity is a bit dangerous. Setting up that Phoenix is annoying. At least they shouldn't be able to get it back this turn. Yeah, I guess we top that island. Considering it's our third. It's the one problem with most of these, like, red spells is most of the good, like, red removal spells are all, we're gonna get maximized velocity here. Feels like we're gonna maximize velocity. Which, if that's their turn, that's fine. We can just use Fight with Fire to kill it. Well, they're not going to do anything with the interface in the face of getting ready to put more effort into Arena. So, I agree it's frustrating, but they're not going to do anything more with the interface over there. If you look at the stuff they're doing with, we're going to get Phoenixed here. So we're probably going to die before we ever get to cast these Izzet. Or, I shouldn't say die, but we're going to get beat around a little bit. Yeah, I think they're putting the emphasis, like if you look at the, if you look at the moves with the Mox and stuff, it looks like they are emphasizing just drawing lands. The deck, not the deck, but just bad luck. It's really hard to say. Like, how many cantrips do you have in the deck? Play this out just to try to be defensive against their drakes. Next turn we can land Niv. Like, if they have removal spells, they're going to... Okay, never mind. They're just setting up for a Drake with maximized velocity this turn. I think I'm just supposed to kill the Drake. Play this. Just Beacon Bolt to kill the Drake. I'm not going to attack because they have 2 Phoenixes in their yard. Have 2 Phoenixes or 1? Looks like just 1. Can I afford to take a chip shot here? Evolved into Great Jerry Stool. It might have, man. Might have. How you doing tonight, Jan? To be fair, I'm playing more of like an Izzet control deck than a true Drake's deck. Our opponent's playing like a true Drake's deck. We played that earlier. Right now we're just playing like a quasi Izzet control deck. I came to know this deck because of it's ironic because I see more, I think I see more, I think I see more Golgari than I do Drakes. Like, I lose to a Golgari a lot. Yeah, I can see that having a little bit of problem drawing land sometimes, unfortunately. Now we're going to have to chump block with our Niv Izzet. That sucks. I can, but I don't care about killing the Drake. Yeah, you're right, Jan. That would have been the better play. But given the fact that I already had the win set up the other way, I guess it didn't really matter. But I definitely probably should have shocked while I had Niv in play. But yeah, your line probably would have been... Well, maybe. They could have had dive down up, too. So, maybe? Ooh, we got a raptor hatchling. Yeah, they had a dive down up, or they had blue man up, so it's possible they had a dive down or a spell pierce there. So your line was probably correct, but we also had lethal on board as long as we traded Niv with their Drake there. So go ahead and play one more with the Drake control deck and call it a night. It's one of the nice kind of casual stream this evening. Didn't want to get too grindy. Yeah, 26 lands definitely can lead to flood. Trying to think if there's any way to really mitigate that. Like, these Drake decks are so capable of handling, like, flood that, like, the Chart of Courses, the Jumpstart cards, etc. So, oh yeah, we're definitely keeping the hand. I was just, like, generally, you do want to draw a Niv a little bit later in the game, though. I do like the Adrian Sullivan school of, like, treasure map and such. Yeah. I don't know, Jan. I just run the Izzet Guild Gate because it was in both of the builds of the decks that I've currently running. Comes back to bite me on occasion, but most of the time I just kind of roll with it. Yeah, that's the thing with these control decks this standard season, James, is outside of, like, oh, we're actually in an actual control mirror. Do I play Chart of Course here? I think I just play Chart of Course here. Get rid of Entrancing Melody. It's unlikely they have a lot of creatures as a blue-white deck, if they have any at all. I don't think I'm supposed to jam Crackling Drake into the face of what they got going on, so I'm just going to go ahead and hit this Chart of Course. They counter it, they counter it. I agree, but, I mean, we're playing Arena, people are trying things out, it's fine. Let's just get rid of Shock here. So I could run out Search for his Kanta, but more inclined to run this out on, like, turn 4. Or their turn 4 when they're trying to hold up, like, Hieroglyphic Illumination. Oh, they're Jeskai. Okay. Jam this, because I want them to tap out for Teferi next turn. This will probably get a counterspell out of them. Yep. I mean, we're not in great shape, specifically if they untap and Teferi us, but, you know, we can only do so much here, especially when we don't have counterspells in the main deck. Yep, there's Teferi.
I keep up the pace.
Like, we get to land Ral here, but Ral isn't all that good. And, like, I could land Crackling Drake, but Crackling Drake doesn't do anything.
Choose wisely, because the other one's going bye-bye.
Guarantee our 6 land drop here that we have Spell Pierce up. Though they're probably not going to play much here. See if they tuck Ral.
You need to slow down.
It's unfortunate. If we were able to draw our 7th land there, I would have felt much better about jamming, whatchamacallit? Yeah. This feels like a bad matchup game 1, especially since they were able to land Teferi so early on.
No time for a break.
If we'd hit our 7th land there and I could jam Niv there into the face of what they had going on. Maybe I was still supposed to jam Miz there. Like, they don't probably have that many answers to him. Guess we'll just jam Niv, force them to use Teferi. If they have Justice Strike, they have Justice Strike. Yeah, Niv would have been the better jam last turn.
Time for plan B. I'm not ready for this quite yet.
It only buys them a little bit of time, unless they have another Teferi here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's an unusually high number of Essence scatters for a just got control list. Oh well. That's probably pulling too far ahead this game. It's possible I should have prioritized the Azcanta over the Rao. Huh. They have Rao and Niv in their deck? Sure.
Ooh, let's see what we got.
Play Niv if they answer this. If they answer Niv, then we'll call it a game and go to the sideboard of games. Alright, so I guess they had just enough. We're not being their handful of cards plus nonsense. So even if they bring in Legion Warboss, I think I'm fine taking out all my shocks. Definitely want the Disdainful Strokes. Definitely interested in the Ral, the Niv, the Fire Mines Research. Probably the Fight with Fires. Go down. One copy of Lava Coil. Do I bring in? I think I bring in Beacon Bolt to deal with, potentially deal with some of the nonsense. And then go down one Enigma Drake. So, James, if you're still in chat, what time is it over there in Australia? It's gotta be in the morning, isn't it? Yeah, I think this is a hand we keep. Turn 2 search for Azcanta seems pretty good. Especially if they're only going to lead on shock, yeah. Yeah, I know over in your time zone, Jan. I still don't know when you sleep, man. Oh, 1 p.m. Wednesday? Wow. just bin this land for right now? I think we'll just bin that land for right now. Opponent's got no blue mana up, so I'm just jamming a Drake. Getting my 2-for-1 while I can. And Justice Strike doesn't even kill that. Though I suppose they could have Ixalan's Binding and we could hate our life right now. Opponent with a bad hand. Well, Niv Mizzet's very good versus Drakes, and it's very good versus, yeah, if they seal away one of our Drakes, that's fine. I don't care about seal away on Drake. Ixalan's Binding's more of a worry. I guess we could be playing into Settle the Wreckage here. So that's something to keep in mind. I think we pitch opt and keep another Drake. Well, that was before we played the second Drake, though, Jan. That's what I was kind of worried about. Wow, no Settle the Wreckage. Alright. If they play Illumination, it's going to resolve. I don't care about Justice Strike. Yeah, I mean, that resolves, sure. Yeah. Let's see if they go for a Teferi here. Spell Pierce with the value. Yeah, they might have gone for Illumination there. Disdainful Stroke. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Not Hieroglyphic Illumination. That's not even... What card? This card? This card's Disdainful Stroke. That's a Ral, that's a Niv, that's a Crackling Drake, and that's an Opt. Hieroglyphic Illumination. I'd rather play Niv here, but Ral might have been the correct play. I think Niv gives them more difficult things to answer, but yeah, Ral might have been the correct play. Because we could hold up Stroke either way. Hieroglyphic Illumination, Jan, that was from last Standard Season. Rotated out with the, yeah, it rotated out. I'm thinking of, Chemister's Insight. So Spell Pierce was pretty reasonable that game. Do we want to bring another one back in? Maybe trim... I don't know, what would we trim for that? Trancing Melody? Because they don't seem to have a lot of creatures. We have 2 Fight with Fires and a Beacon Bolt to answer their Niv Mizzets, and 2 Lava Coils in addition to those to answer their Crackling Drakes. I think we just want the max Spell Pierce Disdainful Strokes to try to answer their problematic things. Like Teferi seems to be the kind of the game-breaking card for us. Well, if they resolve it against us, I should say. Because blue Izzet doesn't exactly have a great way to answer it, since we don't have a lot of hasty threats. Sand seems fine. Yeah, but they haven't even shown us search yet. It's not to say they don't have it in their deck. I like how we're on game 3 and they finally say hello. Ooh. Hello there. My dear friend, search for his Kanta. I love this card in these style of decks. Dive down. I think we gotta put that in the graveyard for now. Looking for land drops. Well, now we might lose, because we're behind on land drops. Graveyard. Alright, there's a third land. Gotta let that one resolve. Hopefully we hit a land drop off of this. Gotta hold up the Disdainful Stroke. That is exactly the card we did not want to see them play. Graveyard. Let's form. So I can play. Start by casting the Lava Coil, in case for some reason they had. That is a very large Drake. Owl can also kill Izzet. Kill it with Ral.
Choose wisely, because the other one's going bye-bye.
You know things are bad whenever you're playing your Sinister Sabotage just to have a, Sure. Guessing we're gonna kill Izzet here.
Decisions.
Alright, so you're dead. It's not a bad one to get with a random rare, Expansion Explosion. But, with that, we're gonna have to call it a night. I need to be getting to bed for work in the morning. I want to thank everyone for hanging out tonight. James, thanks for hanging out from Australia. Janshavik, War Dog, if you're still in chat, thanks for hanging out. But it's been a great evening. Tomorrow we'll get back to playing some Modern. We'll be probably playing some Grixis Shadow tomorrow. I also have a replay of A League with Humans to do, but that will be tomorrow evening. But I want to thank everybody for hanging out. Hope everybody has a great evening, and thanks for supporting the channel. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing, and if you like what you're seeing, please consider hitting that like button here on this video. Lets me know you like what we're seeing. We'll be doing Arena from time to time. Obviously, this channel is more predicated on Modern, but we'll definitely be working more Arena into the mix for standard content, especially the Izzet Drakes and Izzet Control Drakes decks. I have a tournament in January, small local tournament in January I'm prepping for, that I need to have a type of modern or standard deck under my wing in addition to modern. So, and beyond that, thanks everybody for hanging out. It's been a great evening, and Modern Jund, I've played some here and there. I'm not exactly an expert, but I'm proficient enough with it. I played Jadine's list from like 3 or 4 opens ago, I think was the last time I played Jund. So I played it some when Bloodbraid Elf was released. I played it some previous to that too. We had a viewer of the channel that had like a promised end to like traverse the Uvenwald. Yeah, Jund's fine. The problem with like playing interactive decks, especially on Moto, is if you run into the wrong half of the meta, you just get steamrolled. So I tend to play the more aggressive interactive decks, like Grixis Shadow tends to do well, etc. The more reactive you are, unless you're like a really good player, the worse it tends to be for you on Moto. So, especially when I'm not necessarily the most technically proficient player. So, but we'll certainly work some Jund in the mix. Occasionally a deck to keep a good idea on. I know War Dog's a huge fan of Rock, so definitely something to keep an eye out for. But thanks for the suggestion, James. Alright, everybody have a great evening. This has been Dusk for Dust to Dawn Gaming. Hope everybody has a great day, great night, great morning, wherever you are in the world.